Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at how the AGL Zamasu does in the Syn Shenron event. Now the Syn Shenron event basically, is pretty tough. A big aspect of it is the very difficult AoE effects that can occur and can cause a lot of problems for a lot of units. Now AGL Zamasu is one of the very good options for this fight. Not only due to the fact that he is very strong defensively, but also because he actually doesn't mind getting attacked first. It triggers a lot of benefits for him. And also allows him to heal us up, and so he kind of has a good kind of anti-Syn Shenron build going on there. So, let's take a look at him. Obviously talking a little bit about his ZA. He is a Realm of the Gods lead, but we're going to be using the Tech LR Zamasu as well. He raises defense permanently on his super attack in his base form, and he also gives all extreme class allies 2 ki. He reduces damage by 40% and then recovers 10% at the start of turn and 20% at the end of turn. Now he transforms from the 3rd turn from the start of battle, so that's really good, basically allowing him to instant transform, which is really solid. When he transforms, he's got a lot going on. 50% damage reduction, an upgrade to his attack and defense. He now raises attack and defense permanently, has an additional 50% when performing a super attack, and he also launches an additional super attack within the same turn after receiving an attack. He recovers 10% HP when HP is 90% or less, and recovers 10% HP at the end of turn every time the character receives attacks 5 or more times. This is where things get really good for him, because with the AoEs of Syn Shenron, with the way he fires out AoEs, Zamasu and his, ability is going to be very good. That every 5 attacks he's going to be healing. Every single time he basically is in rotation, because with the amount of AoEs, with 1 or 2 AoEs, he's going to be looking really solid. So 1 or 2 AoEs hit him, then he gets hit 3 times in the first slot, and all of a sudden he's recovering 10% HP for you with minimal ease. He's also got 50% damage reduction and stacking attack and defense, so defensively he's really solid. His mutation is really good as a closer for fights, I find, a lot after you've stacked him up a little bit. Still 30% damage reduction, but he will get a reduction in defense. However, he obviously replaces that with high chance of crit, and he also has an additional super attack every time he attacks 2 or more times in battle, which is pretty good. He then has an additional defense of 50% when performing a super attack as well. The big thing here though is he loses a lot of the regeneration. So when you're trying to use him as a unit, although you obviously using him more offensively, you do lose quite a bit defensively, and you lose a fair chunk of the regeneration. This as a whole, it's not the end of the world, but it is something that, at least from my perspective, could hinder you. Especially when you're running villain lineups. A lot of the times they take a fair chunk of damage across the board. Most times they're taking decent damage from a lot of content. They don't have a huge number of really good tanks that also deal damage. A lot of them gain super on, a lot of them get super on, the whole, defense on super. So this tends to give them some issues. Not the end of the world stuff, but it does give them some issues. For me personally, at the end of the day, I think they did alright. In terms of giving him enough healing. I think then switching to that, pure offensive role tends to give a little bit more kind of issues than just the loss of defense, because the loss of defense, especially if you build up AGL Zamasu, generally isn't a big deal. You'll end up with 500k defense and 30% damage reduction, which most times is honestly fine. It's actually his his loss of regeneration that hurts the team a lot as well. But you can see here, this is a perfect situation whereby the benefits of the AoE actually helps Zamasu. So we're able to put the Tech Zamasu in the first slot, And because of that, we're actually able to get the AGL Zamasu to take a hit in the second slot. And this is pretty imperative because what it means is you don't have to deny either Zamasu. And that's where they really thrive in the Syn Shenron event. That ability for them both to essentially be hit first, thus triggering both of their passes, is pretty good. And honestly speaking, it's something that, at least from my perspective, is, incredibly solid and just a really good tool to essentially evaluate units. So I'm very happy with how his build really functions well against the Syn Shenron design, and really helps to nullify some of the big time effects of the AoE struggles against the boss, which for me at the end of the day, not that it's the only solution, but it definitely does help. And so I find that he functions really well and counters a lot of the difficulties of the Syn Shenron fight. And he kind of does have to, because Worldwide Chaos, with him on the team is very, very good. Without him on the team is a little bit hindered. So yeah, it's definitely something to consider. I think overall still a very, very, very difficult fight, but I do think his build and the way he functions does tend to counteract it quite a bit. So here we're going to get a good idea of how well he tanks. That's basically all we want to see. We're not too concerned about anything else. So this is where he really comes into play. That ability to link up with Infinite Zamasu, benefit from the defensive raise. He's got 485k defense, but he also has 50% damage reduction. And then when he fires the super attack, he's going to raise that as well. So yeah, overall this is really his ideal situation. He then also gives us healing as well, which is really good. And yeah, you can see here, an attack from Syn Shenron, 289k, honestly not bad at all. I think overall, really, really good, great defensive option. If we didn't have perfect cell in this rotation, we'd just be 100%. We'd be all good to go, super duper strong, basically perfect. So yeah, I think for me, he's awesome. I think his design as a tank is perfect, and I think he suits most events, Syn Shenron especially. He's a great counter too. So yeah, that's basically going to be it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, obviously leave a like. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. So until then, as always, bye.